I have friends and relatives who, who are Indian and live outside of India, and they're constantly struggling with holding on to their own culture while still trying to fit into their new culture. And
Oh, hang on. What happened?
oh no,
Let's just set the scene a little bit. Maybe Deepa could tell us a little bit about why making this film now when you were sort of in the midst of a trilogy, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure. I was doing the last episode, part of my trilogy of Fire, Earth, and Water, and Water was aborted due to Hindu fundamentalists in India, and we had to stop filming after shooting for 2 days. I got back home to Toronto and was generally feeling really lousy about my life. And after sort of feeling sorry for myself about 3 months, I decided that it was time I got my act together and lightened up. And the result of that is Bollywood, Hollywood. I wanted to do something that was life-affirming, fun, and free of hassles. And I hope the film reflects that.
Were there any particular challenges that you faced in terms of trying to get the two cultures to mesh? What were some of the touchstones that you found?
I don't think it's about two cultures. I think that Bollywood, Hollywood is about one culture, a hybrid culture. The culture that is particularly Canadian, that actually allows you to be anything else that you want to be if you so desire.
I'll open up the question. If there's any questions, put up your hand and we'll direct you. If not, then we'll continue to move along. For any of the other actors, let's start with maybe Ranjit, who takes on quite a bit of a different persona here. Tell us about your experience making this film and taking on this rather different character.
Yeah, it's different. Well, I've been working with Deepa for a long time, and she sent us the script, and I read it, and I didn't quite at first put together that Rocky was Rukini. I skipped that part. So I said, okay, I'll play Rocky. Thanks. She said, yeah, but what about the songs? I said, well, that's your problem. I don't have any song. So I looked at it, and I have to be very honest with you, I shat bricks. But I knew I was in good hands. And I think she has more confidence in me than I do, to be very honest. So she said, you can do it. So I came to Toronto and sat in a makeup chair for about 8 hours.
And you look beautiful, by the way.
Mercifully, it was over on one day, which was a tough day. That's about it.
And in terms of everybody here, what's their background in terms of musical training?
Zero.
Zero.
Rahul has been learning how to dance since the age of 5.
You've done the singing, dancing.
no, I haven't. I've studied dance a bit during acting training, and I at one point I was a really good dancer, I thought, but I don't know where that went, because when we started doing this film, that was the part that terrified me the most, was singing and dancing, and I would have nightmares about it before we actually shot it. Luckily, I only had one dancing number. But we had such a great choreographer, and Deepa handled the whole dance sequences so well that I felt I was in very safe hands. But yet, I wouldn't call it my most favorite day of shooting.
Any other nightmares along the panel here that they want to share, maybe?
No.
Just a lot of dreams coming true on this set. I mean, it was really
It was
amazing.
Totally. I've been a fan of Deepa's films for quite some time, and to be part of something like this was a true honor, and would love to do it again. Hint, hint.
And just also the liberation of all of it. Yeah.
Liberation?
Yeah, liberation, just even taking from what we're talking about here about dance and putting, it was an English-speaking film, who would have thought, and regarding a South Asian family with all kinds of angst and stuff going on underneath, and that itself was so liberating. And being able to dance on a rooftop where, CN Tower was our view, line, and, it was a very special experience for all of us because of that, yeah.
So were there like specific trainings, or you had the choreography numbers all sort of set aside, and was it the first thing you tackled, or sort of?
We did them, do you remember David O'Marinez? I don't remember how we did it. We did it in these are the producers sitting here. David Hamilton,
Okay,
the producer,
David Hamilton, the
and line
producer is
producer
here.
Marinez, and my daughter Devyani.
Your beautiful daughter. Well, for you, Deepa, in terms of directing a musical, I mean, how did this challenge you as a director?
I was really excited about it because I think I didn't have to dance. I've never done it before. I've always enjoyed seeing musical numbers in Bollywood films and had a secret desire to maybe one day film them, but we didn't film them in the traditional way at all. Traditionally, a musical number in India takes anywhere between 7 to 8 days to film one song. So it's and many shots and many camera movements, and we did ours in 1 day flat. It was very exciting, and it was working very closely with David Connolly, who's a choreographer, and my director of photography, Doug, and we did them all on a Steadicam because we didn't have the luxury or the time to lay tracks to actually break the song down into even stanzas and do it. And it was great
change
fun.
costumes as well, as they do.
Yes, we did
many
change
times
costumes.
in Bollywood, in typical Bollywood numbers.
Yeah, they change costumes a lot. Or even locations, New Zealand is a big one, but
Yeah.
I think that would have taken the rest of our budget.
Next one, maybe, Deepa.
Next one.
Switzerland.
And for everybody else, just coming into a sort of a Bollywood tradition, and I mean, at one part, it's not mocking Bollywood, but in terms of just delicately treading so that it didn't appear in any way that you were mocking Bollywood, that it was actually just a fun takeoff on it. Was there any sort of discussion? Was there any apprehension along the way that maybe people might take it the wrong way?
I don't think it's a send-up of, or even poking fun or even mocking Bollywood. If it is, then it's mocking Hollywood is just as much.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's laughing with as opposed to laughing at. I've always, when we were doing the film, and I hope I think all of you felt the same way. It was having fun. Mm-hmm. It wasn't having fun at the expense of a particular cinematic genre or the other.
Mm-hmm. Rishma, you wanted to say
Yeah,
something?
if anything, I think also it might open up Bollywood's vision of contemporary stories that's already happening, but I think Bollywood may be influenced by this film too. I hope so, because, personally, when I read the script and I saw that Twinkie was pregnant before she was married, this is such a
No
forward
such thing in an
thinking-
Indian family.
No,
That will never
it
happen.
has never happened in the history of Indian people. No, but of course it's happened, but it's probably been kept very quiet or hidden, and all kinds of things have had to happen in those cases, but we
Yeah.
were able to bring it to the forefront as a part of life. And I think, if anything, Bollywood may start to see that, more and more we can actually make stories about what people are going through without sticking to necessarily the specific archetype stories, possibly.
The melodrama. There's a question back here in red.
I'm just wondering about how much of the film, I guess, was sort of autobiographical in the sense, I'm just thinking, Canada's made up of a lot of immigrants, and a lot of various cultural groups can sympathize with a lot of the scenes in it. I love the line about, but back in India, they're much more liberal and they do ecstasy, oh my God. And so I guess I'm wondering, how you sort of tried to balance that and whatnot.
I didn't think too much about it, no. And I think that is perhaps what is liberating, that it wasn't very conscious that, I'm making a big cultural statement. It came very naturally. I feel very comfortable being who I am in Canada, being an Indian in Canada. And I hope the film reflects that.
Well, I think also the story is very universal. That's sort of the reaction that I personally have gotten from a lot of people who have seen the film. The story is universal, but perhaps sort of the presentation is kind of an ode to Bollywood, or an ode to a kind of hybrid culture that we've grown up with here or created here. But I think you can, again, like I said, take the story and translate it, plunk it down in the Greek community or the Italian community or any community. Why make it ethnically specific?
That's
I don't
true.
think
That was never
that's
the-
a part of it, actually,
Yeah.
and I think that's why it has such great universal appeal. And a lot of people also ask us, well, do you have to be familiar with Bollywood to enjoy this movie? And that's definitely not the case.
There's a question over here.
Yes, hi. I'm just wondering, with the popularity of, say, Monsoon Wedding, and also the popularity of this American television show called American Idol, where singing is, becoming back in style, whether or not you think that there's a shift now taking place for maybe films to incorporate more music, to become musicals, or to incorporate dance more.
I think there's certainly a far greater awareness that there is another genre except, and it's not just the American commercial cinema that exists in the world. And, just the way people became more aware of Iranian cinema about 10 years ago, I think that this is a time for Bollywood. There is an awareness that there's a legitimate industry, that's an entertainment industry that makes more than 1,500 films a year and has something to offer.
Just a quick follow-up. I know it's going to be opening in Canada. Is it also going to be opening in North American cinemas?
We hope somebody buys it today.
And when is it going to be opening in Canada, please?
On the 25th. The film opens in Canada on the 25th of October.
Let's take a question for Raoul, the male lead in this film, who does a beautiful job. Everybody in this film does a great job. Your experience in this movie, outside of your nightmare learning to dance, did it bring your own personal experience to the film?
Not necessarily my own personal experience, but I know I have friends and relatives who, who are Indian and live outside of India, and they're constantly struggling with holding on to their own culture while still trying to fit into their new culture. And
oh, hang on. What happened?
oh no.
Oh.
Oh, someone want to